Hello YouTube.
Hello, welcome back to our channel.
Yeah, we are down at Portsmouth in the Portsmouth Dockyard Museum area. We're about to explore the Mary Rose Museum, and it's got a 4D adventure thing, which looks really good.
We've been here for a long time, haven't we? So excited to see what's happened and the development it's had.
Yeah, probably go on HMS Warrior and try not to whack our heads because we're quite tall people. But so far we're very impressed with the service, aren't we? It's really easy to check in and just walk around. Makes you really appreciate the sort of naval side of Portsmouth, doesn't it? Already, and we haven't even gone into anything yet.
No, yeah, we'll just find a quick look before we go in. But yeah, we're excited, aren't we?
Yeah, stay tuned for more.
She sank in the Surrey, only a few miles away from Southsea. She lay undiscovered for hundreds of years.
Henry VIII, that man became King of England. I was near 18 when I came to the throne. Yes, that's me up there. Hard to believe, isn't it? A great king should seek glory in just war and rightful conquest. Now, by ancestral right, I was also king of France. But I could not enforce this unless I waged war on the French, and to do this, I needed ships to carry my armies across the narrow seas. When my father died, I inherited just 5 king's ships. Now, I have near 60. The first ship I built was the Mary Rose, and I paid for her out of my own purse within 10 months of my accession to the throne. She was named for the Blessed Virgin Mary and our Tudor Rose, and she proudly bears this emblem high atop her forecastle. I love to hear how she sailed. My first Lord Admiral reported, "Sir, she is the noblest ship of sail at this hour, as fast and maneuverable as a vessel a quarter of her size." I viewed her myself many times. Indeed, I went aboard her with the Holy Roman Emperor when we inspected our ships before my second war with France in 1522. My army by sea, my Navy Royale, has been one of my chief delights. I have built great dockyards and gun foundries to arm our ships and fortify our coasts. And my greatest ships have bellies bursting with guns set at ports with lids which can close. Many guns bear my titles and the marks of our Tudor Rose and the fleur-de-lis. And when fired, these roar and breathe smoke, causing fear and dread among my enemies. My wars at sea have seen no great battles. In fact, our recapture of Boulogne a year ago was fought on land, not at sea. But now my spies inform me that more than 200 French ships are close to England, their fearsome war galleys harassing my ships and raiding our coast. Against this, I have but 80 vessels anchored here at Portsmouth Haven. Anticipating fierce battle, I have gathered my captains for a council of war on my flagship and placed men atop the mast to keep watch. My gentleman Carew has served me well, and I am making him Vice Admiral in my Mary Rose.
My lords!
What you?
The enemy is sighted by the lights.
Captains, to your ships. Tarry not! I will hasten to my army by the South Castle. Godspeed, and with God's grace the winds will favor us.
Hi YouTube.
Hello YouTube.
We're back out of the museum, which we really enjoyed, didn't we?
Yeah, it was amazing. So informative. Over 9,000 something pieces.
Yeah, sorry about the noise. Yeah, really interesting. We went to the 4D cinema experience, which was really good. Learned all the history in like 10 minutes, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was actually quite emotional to watch. If you're ever in the area, I highly recommend it. It was just seeing the effort that's gone into trying to recover this Mary Rose was insane.
Yeah.
And to sort of get that 4D experience where there was like bubbles and the car used to move and things like that. It was just wonderful. Actually, it was such a lovely end to the museum.
Yeah.
And from my personal museum experiences, that's probably got to be one of the better ones I've ever been to. The whole layout and everything just worked really well.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
The staff in there were sort of dressed up as well,
Yeah,
which
we
was
did
really
speak
lovely.
to one lady, didn't we? She was
Yeah.
quite informative. Yeah, it was a good
Got
experience.
myself a pin.
Of course.
Boat pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I highly recommend it, and it's just there was so much to take in. I think even you could do a couple more of them and still discover new bits that you haven't seen or gone past.
Yeah, no, we've had a good time, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, it's very dark in there, so we didn't record everything, but hopefully you can see what we got. So
It's just so surreal. I think all of it, wasn't it?
it was crazy that like he volunteered to do all that, didn't he?
Yeah, the guy.
Alexandra McKee.
Yes.
Yeah, really
Margaret
fascinating.
Rule being the architecture lady, them two alone allowed us to be able to see this ship today, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So highly recommend you coming here. But we're going to mooch around a bit more, see what else we're going to do today.
HMS Victory, so we might go and pop in and see what that is about.
Yeah, the
And,
weather's lovely today,
yeah.
perfect. So
Yeah, not bad for March weather. Can't complain. Anyway, continue watching.
So for dinner tonight, we are having corn burgers with some corn, like chicken nuggets, and we didn't have chips in, so Jamie's just run to the local chippy to get some fish and chips. Very exciting. So yeah, we're just waiting for our dinner to cook, and then we're going to sit down and watch Moana 2. That's just come out on Disney, so we're looking forward to watching that. But yeah, we're just having a cosy night in, and I think that's Jamie with the chips. Here he is.
Got the good stuff.
Here's our chippy chips and whatever else you got.
Oh, it's just chippy chips. It's so cold out there though.
Oh, of course. Here's our masterpiece. Yeah, a bit random. Very carby, but oh well, we don't care. It's Saturday! So, for anyone who doesn't know, we are big Stitch fans. And we have the big giant Stitch from Build-A-Bear when he first got released on a very good offer, and we couldn't resist. So he is our little our little pet, you know, while we can't have a dog. So he sits with us on the sofa in his little corner, and yeah, Jamie's just brought down our most recent addition to the family. We've got so many Stitch things. Alexa, stop. We've got the Disney Store edition for Stitch and Angel Easter. Aren't they just adorable? Yeah, I know, we're mad, but we both love Stitch. I think I'm more mad than Jamie, but yeah, aren't they just so cute?
Beautiful Disney castle. Never gets old seeing this castle, even in real life and in virtual movies. And we're about to watch Moana 2.
So it's the next day after our little day out in Portsmouth yesterday, and we thought we would just have a little chit chat about our thoughts and what we got up to. So yeah, we had a nice day, didn't we, at the dockyard?
Yeah.
We were lucky, the weather was very nice, as you would have seen from the footage. But yeah, overall, I thought it was good.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised of Portsmouth Dockyard, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Like, lived in Portsmouth for quite a while now, and I think I've only ever been there once, a good number of years ago, and I felt like going there my first time again.
Yeah, they've upgraded the Mary Rose a bit more, haven't they?
Yeah. All the staff were like pretty much lovely. I had no issues. Some of them were just a bit curious of our recording equipment, but once they realised it was a stabiliser, they were quite all right with us. And then, but overall, the experience I think was lovely. I think when we was queuing up to go into the HMS Victory, that ship that we whacked our heads on a few times, there was a chap that was giving us the introduction. And I pretty much said, "Oh, we're going to suffer with our tallness," and he went pretty much yes.
Yeah,
and he wasn't wrong. It was I think if you're over 6 foot, going on that is quite a struggle, and there's so many levels to this ship. I was blown away by it.
The steps were steep, weren't they? Yeah.
And all of going into one of those historic ships was lovely. It's a really cool experience, but I think because unfortunately we're a little bit above average in terms of height, we don't get to enjoy it as much as those who are, you know, just average height.
We were constantly hunched, weren't we? Whereas some people were a bit shorter.
I still can't get over the fact that he said that one of the captains or the carpenters that they had there was like 6'7" or something. And I'm just like, how is someone like that on a ship that's so compressed and squished? Amazing engineering though for that time of the era.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it was just really impressive architecture.
It's so
wasn't
impressive, and it was just really interesting, wasn't it? How they lived, and they just got on with it, didn't they? They didn't moan. It was just what they had to
It
do.
was just a different breed of people.
Yeah.
The amount of cannons on that ship was insane.
Insane.
It was like every row, every space possible, there was a cannon. Just like the weight of that ship.
Yeah, insane.
It's just like normal military ships now. Like, how on earth does it just stay afloat with the amount of weight that's on it?
Yeah, what was that big grey one we could see in the distance? There was just some incredible
It was definitely
ships.
a warship. It might be the aircraft carrier that sometimes parks up at Portsmouth.
Maybe, yeah.
Could be that one.
But if you love history and naval,
Naval history.
yeah, it was really interesting. So highly recommend a day out in Portsmouth. And we got the annual pass, didn't we?
Yeah,
because it's
so
on a good discount.
It allows us to pretty much go with anywhere that's associated to this Portsmouth Dockyard, because there's a few things in Gosport, like there was an explosion museum, for example, and a submarine museum, I believe. So we'd definitely be going to check that out whilst we got this annual pass at some point.
Yeah, so we're not too far from Portsmouth, but we did choose to get the train down, didn't we? Which was nice, just have a break from driving and worrying about parking. So yeah, we had a nice train journey, didn't we?
Yeah, the train was simple, easy.
Yeah.
It's not nice to just not drive.
Yeah,
driving into Portsmouth is not always the most funnest experience.
No, but yeah, we got the rail card 2 together offer, haven't we?
Yeah,
discount thing.
Pretty much made it like what, a tenner to get there and back.
Yeah, real bargain. So yeah, it's a good way to get into Portsmouth. We got off at Portsmouth and Southsea and walked through the town a bit. We were going to go into Gun Wharf, but we were quite happy to go back, weren't we?
The thing with Gun Wharf on like a Saturday is incredibly busy, as you imagine and expect, and it's more like, well, once you've dealt with like all the walk around the Portsmouth Dockyard, and then there was a few events happening in Portsmouth where we were. And I think we were pretty much like, we were happy to get back, and we still had like the nice afternoon, which you saw in a clip where there's some chips and, you know, watch Moana 2.
Yeah, we thought we'd watch it as we hadn't been to the cinema to see it, making most of our Disney Plus. But I don't know, I could see what other people were saying about it being very similar to the first one.
It's incredible animation. Like the animation is so surreal. Like the fact that people have like drawn that on a computer, or maybe the use of AI now, I'm not sure, but it was really visually pleasing to see. It's just you sometimes do watch some scenes and you think this is meant to be a kids film, and it's like
so dark.
Yeah, very dark moments. And
so, oh my god!
I suppose most kids might not understand those references, but as an adult, you do, and it's like, did they put that in for us, or? Yeah, it's a bit strange sometimes.
Yeah, it was quite dark at some bits, but the storyline, it was quite similar, wasn't it?
I'm not sure how they're going to take it, but without revealing too much spoilers, there's a bit where Moana gets a tattoo similar to what's the guy called? The
Maui.
Maui, that's it. And I do wonder if Disney had put a hint in that she's going to end up becoming some kind of demigod like Maui.
Yeah, there might be a third one potentially.
But I came across a video with The Rock, who plays Maui in Disney films, and he announced that it's going to be a live action of Moana, which, you know, if they play off well, it could be really good. But I guess it'd be the original Moana, which is still better than Moana 2.
So that'd be interesting to see. But we're very excited to see Stitch when that comes out in May.
We saw the latest preview that's come out just not too long ago, and it's just brilliant. It looks like they've kept a lot of the original movie into it, and a few of the phrases that Stitch goes by, and I think they've done in Cute Little Monster. And
we love him. So we're looking forward to that in May. But we had a good day, didn't we?
Mary Rose Museum was really good.
Really good.
That was really good. I think that was the best highlight. That was a highlight for me.
I enjoyed the HMS Victory when we was on top of the ship.
Yeah, that was really
like
cool.
when it was just such nice weather to take some lovely photos and just enjoy the sunshine, and what a wonderful view it was. That was cool. But Mary Rose was very impressive.
We were just very lucky with the weather, because given how the weather is in the UK, it normally rains all the time, and for the whole time we were down there, it was just blue skies.
Blue sky, a bit chilly, but sunny.
It was lovely.
Perfect, really. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please keep on watching our channel. We've got a few bits coming up next month, end of April. We're going to Manchester for the weekend with my parents my dad is running the marathon. So we're going along to support him and explore a bit of Manchester. But
Hopefully he achieves a PB.
yeah, he'll do fabulous, I'm sure. Yeah, a few bits in between. So
Nice. We also watched a Netflix show called Adolescence. Adolescence is a new drama that's sort of been released in Netflix at the moment, and it was just incredible. It was so hooking. We've only watched one episode so far, but we're bound to probably end up binging it. But what's really cool about it, it's all done in one take, and it just sort of the camera flows with the actors and stuff. And I just think it makes you feel like you're watching it there and there, like it's live. I thought
it was
really
so
clever,
good.
and
Yeah, I suppose we watched them today.
it's quite
weren't we?
gripping as well, and it's quite detailed with some of the policing processes, and yeah, and it's just crazy to think if this kid has committed the murder or not. It's quite baffling, and
Yeah,
very
good acting.
Very impressed so far.
Yeah,
Very impressed.
So I expect we'll watch some of that
Yeah.
maybe later.
So if you've made it this far in the video, we really appreciate it. We appreciate all the engagement. If you want to leave us a comment, we will reply to them and give them a like. And yeah, continue watching for future vlogs, I guess.
Yeah, so thank you for watching.
Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Bye.